Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks on how to get a 9 on your GCSE Biology. This advice counts for combined and triple science. So why even trust this advice? So the reason is I have gotten 9s in my biology, chemistry and physics, so I have all the tips and tricks to give you. So my first tip is to use the specification. So what does that even mean? A lot of students don't even know what the specification is. So the specification highlights everything that will be tested in your exam. You can go to your exam board and, for example, I'm talking about AQA in this case, and on the website on the left side, when you click specification, you will find that you can find the document there, and it's a very long PDF. It's 92 pages long, so a lot of students do get overwhelmed, but the ones that are looking for that high grade, they are the ones that tend to look at the specification. And what does the specification even do? So the specification has an outline of all the topics that will be tested in each paper, how the papers will work, and how the course itself is taught. This one is GCSE Biology. Just bear in mind that if you're doing combined, you go to the Combined Science Trilogy specification for biology, and then you can have a look at that. This one is just for triple biology. So that was the outline there, and you can see, having a look at an example over here, where you've got, cell structure, animal and plant cells and all of that. So you can check everything that you need to know for each subtopic within a topic as well. So cell biology, and just to let you know, it helps with linking topics as well. A lot of times in your GCSE exam, the questions will link to multiple topics as well. So another tip that I do have for using the specification is that it can usually tell you definitions. So not only that, you can read everything that you do need to know. This is everything that you will be tested on, but also you can sometimes get definitions as well for different things. So for example, let me find a very good example here. For the process of mitosis, for example, and in this case here, diffusion, you've got the definition of diffusion there. And if you memorize this definition as well, and you get a question on it and you write this definition down, it will get you marks in the exam. So it does give you some of the content that you do need to know. And just to let you know, the lessons that you get taught at school, some of you guys will be finishing this spec as well. Some of the all of the lessons actually that are taught are based on this, and the exam papers that are made are based on this as well. And on the right you can see it says WS as well. So these are the working scientifically skills that are required. So you might be given, for example, a graph to work on in this subject, or something application wise to apply the skills that you have learned. And even required practicals are written here as well. So you can essentially use that for everything. The next tip that I have now is practicing and then reviewing. So you do not have time to make hundreds of notes. And what does that even mean? A lot of students think that I will study the spec I will make notes first, and I will make sure I have tons of notes and I've studied absolutely everything, and then I will start testing myself. Now that is the wrong way to do it. By practice, I mean you practice questions. You are essentially getting yourself ready for the exams. And if you are year 11, then even more so, you have to prioritize exam questions over doing notes, because essentially year 11 will be under time pressure and time constraint, not enough time to absolutely write out the whole spec, and there's no point of it as well if you don't have the exam skills there to apply that knowledge. So on the AQA website itself, you can find question papers, and I highly recommend that in year 11 you start doing big papers as well. Question banks are good as well, so if you want to test yourself individually on topics, but also start getting yourself ready by doing full papers in one sitting. If it's difficult, then start building it up slowly. So maybe starting with half a paper and then increasing it and so on, or maybe a quarter of a paper and then increasing the session time and so on that you do the papers, but you want to essentially get yourself ready for that exam. Also, you might that helps you really understand what areas you are weakest in. So for example, if you score lower on a question, it helps you because you are not only the stuff that you are strongest in, you are reinforcing that through doing questions, but also the stuff that you are weaker in will also start showing up in questions, and you will think, actually I'm quite weak on the subject, I need to go back and review it again, and so on. And that then leads me to my third tip, which is the questions that you get wrong, put it onto a flashcard. And this will make sure that you are exam ready, because you are consolidating and reviewing the stuff that you are weakest in, the weaker areas, the weaker points, every single time in exams. And you have that question, your own question bank ready, a physical copy of it on a flashcard or even digital, doesn't matter, but you have that ready before an exam, and you are recapping that every single time. And that is a more efficient way of doing it, rather than reviewing absolutely everything, making notes on absolutely everything and finishing everything or memorizing the textbook. You are focusing on weaker areas in the time constraint that you have. And then my last tip, so number 4, always write extra on an answer. So what I don't mean is that you write multiple answers. Please do not do that. Beware of giving multiple answers, because that can actually make it so that you get 0 on your on that answer that you do on that question. So please do not do that. What I mean by writing extra is elaborating. So always expand on the point that you are talking about. Always talk about the specifics. Always mention keywords. So for example, the diffusion definition, you're not going to just say, diffusion is spreading out of molecules. You're going to say keywords like concentration, high to low, and it doesn't require energy essentially, and it happens so with particles. So you want to be specific, referring to the specification definition and writing that in your exam. So always elaborate and always delve deeper into the keyword that you're talking about. Try to get the right keywords, because that is what biology is very content heavy, yes, but as long as you're using the keywords that you have learned based on the spec and based on the textbooks that you are studying, you will hopefully get the marks, because that's how the content is designed. A lot of students do have the knowledge there, they understand it, and it is shown in the answer. It's just the problem with the answer, whilst being correct, is that it's not specific enough. It doesn't have a specific keyword, or it doesn't have a specific line that they have to say relating to this topic, relating to what exactly they have learned. So that is all of my tips. If you do all of this, I can assure you that you will definitely bring your grade up, and it will hopefully reduce stress as well, because as you are reviewing and practicing the weaker areas, and then also setting yourself up in that exam, writing, elaborating on each answer that you write, and then practicing the timing as well, doing proper papers, and also using the spec every time, you will do well. Now that leads me to the last bit, which is this GCSE Science Booster that I have going on. I give questions and then also go over lots of the content within the science spec. So this is for biology, chemistry and physics, and I have different sessions between January and up until February half term, where I also have a booster course available. So if that is something that you would be interested in, then please do sign up using the form that I have on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for watching this video.